afternoon, and thank you all for joining me today. I hope you can all hear me. Can anyone say yes if they can hear
Yes.
me? All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And today we're looking at the define stage, and it's what is the last stage of our define stage of design thinking. And in the previous stages, we've looked at some of the key techniques and tools we can use for the define stage. And this will be the last session on the define stage. And later on, I'll try and put together a video of all the stages we've talked about on the define stage. But for this particular stage, we are building on the point of view statement, which helps us understand our customer or our user. So for what we've been taking a look at, which I've been emphasizing on, is let's seek to understand the customer's needs or the customer's problem. Let's explore, and some of the techniques for exploring we'll be delving into today. And then we want to materialize a solution for our customers. And this is an iterative state. It's not a step-by-step approach. We would go back to each stage if need be. And there are various techniques that a design thinker, a research analyst, a research user, a product owner, a business analyst can use as they look through a problem to solve. In looking at this particular diagram, we go through the plan, the empathize, the define, the idea, the prototype, and validate. These are the steps we've been using for our 30 minutes short sessions. We've spent some time on understanding personas, drawing empathy maps. We did not look at use case diagrams, more specific for business analyst or product owner workshops. And we would also touch on storytelling, which is also part of scenarios. And we also had a session on customer journey maps. The techniques or the elicitation techniques we are using in most of our discussions are interviews, observations, workshops, focus groups, and questionnaires. Today's session is the defined stage and is the last stage of we're looking at the defined stage, and we're looking at the point of view statement, which is the last point we'll be viewing in the defined stage. Steve Jobs once said, if you've got to start with the customer, you've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards toward the technology, not the other way around. And it's one of the products we're building at Lean Icon Technology. We're building a product known as Enroll, which will be for wholesalers, retailers, and for customers. We're still in the process of building the product. And for this particular product, we've been thinking carefully about the user. And from an Apple perspective, when Apple initially introduced the pods, not many customers were pleased with it, but their strong or most of the customers who just love Apple products were so interested in it. For myself, it took me almost about a year to start using the Apple pods. I didn't fancy it myself, but I've seen its benefits of not having a cord hanging around whilst walking or moving around. It's always taking that view from the customer's perspective. So at the define stage, we are analyzing the customers and we are drawing on our synthesis to bring together all the information. We've looked at some of the analysis tools, and for the synthesis is bringing together the customer's point of view, the customer's problem statement, refining that so that we know whom the customer is, and we can start ideating to bring more options for that particular customer. And as I talk about the customer, from our point of view, we will produce personas. And a persona is not just a one actor, it could be two actors, three actors, and it could be a group of actors. So with Enroll, we've got the wholesaler, and the wholesaler, we've got a group of wholesalers, but we've just got one wholesaler whom we are focused on. We've got retailers, and there are groups of retailers. We are just focusing on one retailer. So the customer is always at the heart of the things we do when we go through design thinking. And if we put design thinking at the forefront of most of our deliveries, we would always be customer centered or extremely customer centered. I'll be looking at a point of view statement on a customer, and let's see if it aligns to your thoughts of being in a busy city like London or any other city in the world where there are loads of cyclists and people moving around. So in our analysis stage, we spend some time looking at research results. In our workshops, we would like to collate all the results, categorize them into affinity diagrams where we will group them. We also looked at what are our top findings during those brainstorming sessions, during those research. And we would like to carry out a SWOT analysis and a tools analysis. If we've got videos on SWOT analysis and tools analysis, and if you want a link to the videos, do let me know. Or if you're part of our Agile Transformation group, we do put the videos there and you can access them. In our analysis stage, we looked at the customer journey maps. We looked at quantitative data that we could pull from our current data of our customers and how they use our products or how they might intend to use our products from various research we've collated. We could also carry out a process analysis if it's an existing product, and if it's a new product, we might like to rather document the customer's journey map or a potential customer journey map for our product. We will also spend some time performing some document analysis, and the documents could be research that has been done about that particular area we are working on. And the more analysis we do, the more information we can synthesize and focus specifically on our customers. So we spend some time looking at the artifacts in our analysis stage so that we could synthesize and draw on a specific problem statement for the customer. So in our workshops, we could be producing low fidelity customer journey maps, and we could also be carrying out brainstorming sessions just to understand the customer. So more on the analysis stage is focusing on understanding the customer's problem and building on that problem in the synthesis phase. So when we come to synthesis, we are looking at the patterns we've drawn from our analysis. We want to be able to understand the customer's usage, trends, and anything that can help us understand the customer more. And those are the key things we're drawing from our analysis. Spending time in the analysis phase, understanding the patterns, understanding the customer is so useful that we can draw multiple insights and identify multiple options which could be potential solutions. In our analysis phase, the more analysis we do, it will enable us to refine our prototypes. And when it comes to the validation stage, we could always come to the analysis stage and based on the work we've done, draw acceptance criteria, draw acceptance stories, and refine all the information we've collated. Storytelling is about understanding the customer. We want to understand the customer's happy path or the customer's journey. And if we can understand the customer's journey in the entire process, looking at the happy paths, alternate paths, looking at the customer's pain points, all of this would help us gain more insights about our customer. So the focus is, let's understand the problem for the customer. And the customer can be a group of customers, can be an individual customer. And can we draw more insights from the analysis and our stories to have a specific focus on our customers? We also looked at drawing a problem statement. We've done our analysis. We're still trying to understand the problem. Using the problem statement helps us to delve into certain areas we might not consider. I'll be going through the problem statement in the next slides, and I'll be touching on the point of view statements. What are the key things we look out for in our problem statement? What is the problem that needs to be solved? We really have started with a problem. We've drawn some analysis. We've drawn some artifacts. Are we still solving the same problem? Have we been able to go to the root cause of the problem to know why we are solving that problem? And the big question is it a problem? If it's not a problem, why are we working on that? And where is the problem observed? Those are some of the questions we could be asking. Where does the customer experience their problems? And we could use the customer journey maps and low fidelity diagrams to help us understand where the customer experiences that problem. Who is impacted by the problem? When was the problem first observed? How is the problem observed? And how often is the problem observed? All these are necessary for us to draw our point of view statement. If we don't spend time understanding all of this, we can draw a point of view statement which would help us focus on the customer. So our point of view statement should be user focused. So it should be very specific. It should help us understand the needs of the customer. And when we understand the needs of the customer, we can draw on surprising insights. Should we spend time drawing on all of these documents? The documents I've talked about are needed, but we would have spent some time meeting other stakeholders, meeting other customer groups to bring all this together as research analysts, as product owners, as business analysts, or as members of the design team. And when we collate these documents, it's helping us have a better informed understanding of our customer. So at the end of our define stage, we're focusing on producing a point of view statement. Is the point of view statement the all in all document we need for the define stage? It's a supporting document we would need to go into the ideate stage, which is a step after the define stage. And when we've got the point of view statement, can we come back to it? Yes, we can come back to it. In my first slide, I said it's not a step-by-step approach. It's an iterative approach, and we can always come back to the documents we've produced. So here is a point of view statement I have produced for a taxi passenger in a very busy city. So it's for a taxi passenger in a very busy city. They want the doors open safely when exiting a taxi. They want the doors open safely when exiting a taxi. What are the insights we've drawn from this particular experience? The passenger wants to exit the taxi safely is one. They want to like to focus on their belongings focus on collecting their belongings from the taxi and not leave anything behind. They want the door open safely to prevent them from hitting people, cyclists, and cars. They want to pay and store their cars safely before exiting the car, and their highest priority is their safety. So we would have a look at a video to see if this is of high priority to us, and if I was working in such an environment, making
nothing
sure
about that today either. Nothing evil about something the president promised last Tuesday. Likely assuming we don't forget about
hello,
it.
please, can you mute yourself? Yeah, so we've drawn a point of view statement, and this is a template for producing a point of view statement. Focus on the user, focus on their needs, and finally, with the problem statement you've drawn, get an insight about that particular customer. Don't be too busy thinking you don't have to focus on your customers. Our customers are so important. We need to focus on them. So spend time understanding your customers. And to do that, we'll develop insights, we'll create a problem statement, and we will define a point of view for that customer. Let me just one. So I'll be sharing a video now, and that can help us have an understanding of this particular point of view statement I have just shared. So in this particular point of view statement, as a taxi passenger in a busy city, we had the door opened safely for us and we exited the taxi without having to worry about hitting a cyclist, or without having to worry about hitting a passenger, or without having to worry about hitting a car. And the point of view statement reflects what, as a passenger, I would be thinking about if I've had a bad experience of opening a car and hitting another car, or opening a car and hitting a person, someone who's walking by. So does the point of view statement reflect my needs? I would say from what I see in this point of view statement, this point of view statement reflects my needs. And when we summarize our point of view statement, it enables us to start focusing on the ideate stage, to start developing multiple options to help resolve the customer's needs. We want to develop multiple options to resolve the customer's needs. So we shouldn't be too busy and not focusing on the customer. We should seek to develop insights, create a problem statement, and define a point of view for the customer. So we've covered our defined stage today, and we've built on all the other techniques we've used, and today's session has been all about developing a point of view statement for the customer. Any questions?
Yes, please, William, I have a question for you.
Go
So as a BA working on a project,
Yes.
doing the usual BA requirement gathering, elicitation, documentation exercises, in what sort of instance would I be using this, please?
Okay, so in the earlier stages, when let me say I have to gather and I have to elicit some requirements about a particular system I am working on, and I have to produce some user stories. Part of our persona, we need a persona. Is it in place? If it's not in place, as a BA, I need to produce that, helping the product owner or helping the team. And we could always go back to the business case and say, the business case is seeking to solve a problem. Do we really understand the problem? And have I understood the problem? I could read the business case, and through reading the business case, I can come up with a point of view statement which would enable all the teams understand the problems we're solving. Quite often I speak to teams and I ask them, do you know the problem you'll be solving? What they would say is it's in a business case and we're producing a CRM for the team. Why are we producing a CRM for the team? The business needs it. But if we, as business analysts, spend time reviewing that business case and summarizing the key need for that particular solution we're building, we can constantly share it at the backlog refinement sessions. We can reflect on it at the iteration review or sprint review sessions. And it can also become a guiding light during our retrospectives for us to reflect on. If we don't focus on the key problem and the customer, we might miss the point. It's the worst thing we can do if we build a solution that's not fit for purpose for the customer.
Okay, thank you. Please, can I ask one more question? It's Barbara here.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Thank you so much for this session. I forgot to say this before asking you the first question. Thank you. It's a very, very good session and I love it. So I'm currently documenting the ETL, so the extraction, transformation and loading journey, using a statement of requirement document, which outlines the why and everything.
Yes.
Will this form a segment of the document that I'm currently putting together, Or can this replace a statement of requirement document, please?
This won't replace a statement of requirement. It
It
will
won't.
emphasize, it won't replace it. It
Okay.
will form part of it, and it will
Right.
emphasize the key reason why we're gathering those particular requirements. And
Right.
those requirements seek to support the solution we're solving.
I love this. Thank you. Would you be sharing the templates with us, please?
Yes, I'll be sharing the template.
Thank you very much. That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much for joining today's session. For today's session, we've been focused on understanding the point of view statement. It focuses on understanding the user, being very specific, understanding the user's needs, and also seeking to draw insight. We produced one for a taxi passenger in a busy city. And we, as a taxi passenger, we want to open the door safely when exiting a taxi. We understood our problem statements and we were able to draw insights. For our next session, we'll be looking at the ideation stage, and the key focus for the ideation stage is all the work we've done so far and using the work we've done from the Empathise and the Define stage to start identifying multiple options for the customer.
William, I have
Okay.
one last question before we still got 1 minute.
Yes.
So I know there's quite a few people going for interviews this week. This is one of the templates or the processes that you can bring in your interview. Yeah. So if you're asked a question about what document or how do you go about documenting some of your requirements, you can use this as an example to say, I produced a, this kind of template and a point of view template, and then you can analyze it, and that's it. That would qualify, because I've not heard it before. So I'm sure a lot of employees would love to know that there's a statement of need, something that addresses a statement of need. So that's just to benefit those who go in for interviews. Thank you. I just thought I'd bring that to light.
Thank you, Barbara, for the addition. And has anyone got any additions before we close the session for today? Additions or questions? All right. Thank you so much. On Friday.
Question. Sorry, this is Ike here.
Go ahead, Ike.
I joined late. I didn't realize. Is there a recording of this?
Yes, it's being recorded, and I'll be sharing it after the session.
No, fantastic. You're a lifesaver.
Yeah. Have we got your number, or are you a member of the Agile Transformation Group?
I'm not really sure what I am.
Okay, please add your number to the chat area, and we'll add you to the Agile Transformation.
Yes, I'll do that now.
And if you're here for the first time, feel free to add your number. That's where I leave all the videos and all the links to the videos, and you can access all the key things we've discussed. On Friday, we have a data modeling session led by Carlos Ancora, who's a data architect, and it's Friday, 12 o'clock to 12:30. Do join, and see you next week, Tuesday, for our next session on ideation as part of our design thinking roadmap. Have a wonderful day, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, William.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, bye.